So as you can see on the thumbnail, we got Scottie Pippen, and we obviously have your boy Karl Malone, the mailman. Let's get that count back up. And I'm surprised that it's kind of slow on here, but we're just going to keep going and we're going to roll. So as we continue, ladies and gentlemen, again, smash the like button. So getting ready with that one. We have parts 9 and 10 of the finale in the Last Dance documentary. And all right, so like I was saying, make sure you guys come in, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button as you guys come in for the Louis Sports Network. We're talking about The Last Dance, parts 9 and 10. Shout out to Joel Hayward in the building. So let me know what you guys think on the documentary. What stood out to you in the documentary as you guys were watching it? Was there anything that you found curious? Was there anything that you found surprising? I'm actually going to talk about, what I found surprising, in the documentary. If there's one thing that I was a little bit surprised about, and shout out to Ron back in again, I was surprised that they didn't really talk about how, during the documentary, that the Utah Jazz, when they went to the NBA Finals, and I know they were kind of going back and forth with the 98 Finals, I will say that, as you can see, my man Karl Malone, why didn't they show the game one where Scottie Pippen talked to Karl Malone and told him that the mailman does not deliver on Sundays when Malone was at the free throw line? And that was one of the things that was against Karl, is the fact that Karl never really was able to deliver in big moments. If you look at that game one of the 97 NBA Finals, which is something that kind of gets held against him. So again, smash the like, hit that subscribe. And one thing that I also wanted to say was I'm surprised that they didn't show that. The only thing that they showed was Jordan making that last shot. And after Jordan making that last shot, it was pretty much the end for the Jazz in that game. And so I was a little surprised that they didn't talk about Karl Malone and what Scottie Pippen pretty much was trolling him with, the fact that the mailman does not deliver on Sundays. So that to me was very interesting that they didn't include that. So they did show, obviously it was a great documentary. It was a great 2 parts to end. I'm going to get to Steve Kerr in a second because I thought his story was probably the most interesting. It's pretty much the most interesting. But I know that the documentary has started with Reggie Miller and the battle against the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. What's crazy about Reggie, guys, is the fact that if you look at that Indiana team was very physical. You got the Duncan Dutchman, Rick Smiths, you got Mark Jackson, one of the best passers in the league. Obviously, you got, who else was I talking about? You have the Davis boys, both Anthony and Dale Davis. You have Jalen Rose off the bench. You got Travis Best. I mean, they had a nice little deep squad, and obviously you got Reggie. That's how special he was. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, let's keep the views up, man. Let's keep the likes up. Let's keep it going. Layla says, Karl Malone is a creepy dude, Louis. We all know what he's done, but people only focus on Kobe. Karl was the sturdiest scumbag ever, and I felt sorry for him in 98. I mean, I guess you could go there. The Pacers were very tough and had the depth to win it all in 98. Absolutely. G-Money, speaking facts, man. The Pacers were very, very physical. Can't forget about my man Chris Mullin, who's in the Hall of Fame. So Chris Mullin, his role definitely had changed, but the Pacers were very deep. They were much deeper than Chicago. Obviously, the Pacers did not have MJ, obviously the guy who has an unbelievable will to win. Scottie Pippen's defense on Mark Jackson was great in that series, but Mark Jackson was able to play well. I was very impressed with the execution from both teams in that 7-game series. That's how good the Indiana Pacers were. Lonely One said, "Why y'all ain't tell me, man? Uh, my computer was on mute. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Lonely One." Freddie Gee says, "Man, Karl Malone was dropping off more than mail." Psst, right? Damn. Unfortunately, like Scottie Pippen told him, man, he said, "Yo, your mail don't deliver on Sundays, pal. No, not tonight, pal. Nope, not tonight, pal. I'm sorry. Nope." In my personal opinion, I know that both the '97 and '98 NBA Finals they were pretty tough too. Just because if you look at both Game Sixes, Steve Kerr hits the game-winning shot in Game Six, and then Jordan closes out his career with the Bulls by hitting the game-winning shot in Game Six in '98. But getting back to the Indiana Pacers, what was interesting to me was how Reggie said he had a lot of respect for Michael. But what I took from that was how people have kind of made a misconceived notion that Michael and Reggie were kind of like enemies. So I was looking at the 1993 regular season game on February 10th. So Jordan, he got all pissed off, hot and bothered because Reggie Miller just bumped him. He pretty much bumped him on the sideline when Jordan went for the block. But what nobody talks about is previous plays before that at the Bulls end of the floor, Michael was giving Reggie elbows, and I guess maybe Reggie didn't talk trash, but I guess he was being an irritant to Mike. And so he was being such an irritant that it was probably pissing Mike off. Maybe Mike had an off day. Who knows what happened? But Reggie was probably pissing him off enough that he was elbowing him. And I was like, why is it that nobody talks about Michael throwing some elbows? And what's crazy is once Reggie gave him that little shove, Michael just completely lost it. And then he's getting the iPad, and Mike's like, "Oh yeah, let him go." And I'm like, Mike, you're complaining about a little shove that Reggie Miller gave you when you've been hit a lot harder than that. Like, I thought it was about welcoming that physical play, bro. It's crazy. Let me just look in the comments real quick. And again, continue to smash the like button, hit that subscribe as I change the thumbnail out here in these NBA streets on the Louis Sports Network. Let's get back on my man, Stevie Kerr. I mean, to show my man Reggie Miller some love, we're going to get back on there with them Indiana Pacers. You know what I'm saying? There's my man MJ going up against Reggie Miller. I know Layla's going to love that pick. You already know what it is. But those Indiana Pacers teams, they were no joke. That's how special Reggie Miller and those Indiana teams were. The fact that they were able to push the series. What's crazy about that series is Game 4 to me was probably more telltale than any game of that series other than Game 7. And that was the fact that Reggie Miller hits the go-ahead basket in Game 4 with, I believe it was with 0.7 seconds remaining in Game 4. That was on Memorial Day. And if anybody knows, during the playoffs, during Memorial Day time in Indiana is the Indianapolis 500 NASCAR, and usually happens around that time of year, right? So Reggie pushed off of Michael. Was it an offensive foul? Reggie said he called a foul, but he said if the refs weren't going to call anything, he might as well try to get away with it and take a chance. The refs didn't call it. Everything happened so fast. I think had Reggie shot that shot different, I don't know if he would have made that shot. So I think the shot that he ended up shooting when he was able to push Michael to the side and get that open look, Reggie was able to shoot that shot in rhythm, even though Reggie's shot is awkward. But I think his shot was in rhythm, so that's why the ball looked good coming out of his hand. And he was able to knock it down, right? Oh, my God. Hold on a second. I missed some comments. The Pacers were fifth in opponents points per game, and they were fifth in defensive rating. Now, I can't agree with that. Had the Jazz executed in 97 and 98, Utah might have won the chip because they had 3 Hall of Famers in Malone, Stockton, and Hornacek. Well, Hornacek I don't think is a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, Jerry Sloan is a Hall of Fame head coach. And you guys know that there's a ton of variables with things and how they happen. So even the Kobe's, we don't know. So it's only about basketball with me, a bit with Carl. Pacers had the firepower, the defense, and the execution to win the chip in 98. That wasn't a shove. Get out of here, man. It was keeping his balance hand check. Well, actually, Pacers needed a dynamic playmaker and scorer. Too many role players to beat uh, to beat the top tier teams. I dream of Mike looking just like that. Of course you do. All right. One of my favorite pairs of Jordans, because Michael can do no wrong. Is it only me, or am I the only one who finds all the Jordans exactly the same? How come they sell like hotcakes? Because they re-retro them damn shoes. That's why they all look the same. What's different is the colors or anything that they add or take away. But let's face it. The Hornets were also underrated in '98. They were a solid defensive team in '98. Were those Hornets? And y'all know that's my man, but they're pretty much the same. I never bought a pair of Jordans before. All right. I mean, going through my collection of history, the Jordan 13s, I do have a pair of those. The pair that I have are the Cherry 13s. And let me tell you, they look crazy good on your feet, and you get a lot of compliments. If you were to wear the 13s, trust me, especially if you wear the Cherry ones, I'm telling you that as a tip. They look so good. I usually like wearing my Cherry 13s with black jeans. I think that they pop with black jeans. That's me personally. I love the 13s, and it's a very comfortable shoe too. By the way, Mike ended up beating in LeBron's shoe performance. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to troll. My bad. All right, it says Layla. No. Jermaine says no. Each pair of Jordans are unique. Yeah, they are. What's cool about them is not just the design, but the story behind the shoe as to why they were created. The ones, the 6 and 11s are the dopest. I'm on record as saying, ladies and gentlemen, that for me, in my personal opinion, the Jordan 11s are the greatest. For me, they're my favorite Jordans. I'm not going to say that they're the greatest, but they're my favorite Jordans of all time. I have the Space Jams. I still have them here. I still have them. I got them. I bought those 3 years ago when those came out in Christmas of 2016. And so I decided to, buy a pair. Oh my God, the Space Jams were so beautiful to watch, to see that Concord Jumpman on the side, the all black patent leather. I know people were complaining about how the patent leather was a little more high cut because they would prefer the low cut. But if you look at the OG 11s that Jordan wore when he came back, not only to play in '96, but obviously in the playoffs in the patent leather high OG ones. So when I saw those, I was like, yo, I gotta get a pair of those because they look like a tuxedo shoe. Like the fact that you could wear a tuxedo, a suit with them shoes, man, that's what made it like so damn fire for me. I definitely got to put a video up of my pair of those. I also had a pair of French Blue 12s. I like those. I like the way they look, especially with the whole reptilian skin and basically the shoe kind of representing the Japanese flag when it came to also when it came to the land of the rising sun. Like that's what that shoe represented. I like the 12s. Obviously the flu games, even though it's really should be called the food poisoning game. Because to be honest with you, it's really not. It's different just because the flu and the food poisoning are two things that make you very sick. Food poisoning is just more. You can arguably make the case that they're more difficult to deal with. As I check into the comments, the Hornets with Diesel, David Wesley. Oh, he was good. He was good. All right, let's keep it coming, ladies and gentlemen. I have them all. They're pretty much a given for all my birthdays. God damn, you have every single Jordan, Layla? Damn, I can't even do that. Think they had Anthony Mason. Yeah, they did have they had Mace. They had former Bull BJ Armstrong. The 11s are the coolest. I have that patent leather ones. I'm telling you, man. And I missed out on the breads. If I could get my hands on any Jordans, it would be the bread 11s. I also want to get the Flint 13s, and the retro 5s came back. The OG 5s, the white ones with the red Nike Air in the back. Yo. Yeah, no, because the thing is, what people do is once they cop it, they resell them, at that price. No, it's gonna stay because the poisoning is worse, but they realized it was food poisoning. But that was also crazy too. The fact that five guys, even though that's the name of the restaurant now, five guys delivered a damn pizza to to intentionally get Jordan sick. Yeah, that's funny. All right, so getting back on the Indiana Pacers, that was probably just imagine if the Indiana Pacers had eliminated the Chicago Bulls, and let's say they don't bring the Bulls team back. Reggie Miller could have said, and he could have bold claim as saying, I retired arguably the greatest player to ever play the game, preventing him from winning a sixth NBA championship. That's crazy. Like when I think about that, that's crazy. You could have prevented MJ from winning a sixth NBA title. That's nuts. It's true. They tried to poison the whole team. Because the thing was, MJ said he was hungry, and it was late at night. So he decided to eat the pizza because I think they said nothing was pretty much open and they couldn't get room service. Shout out to Jermaine Lou. He says, yo, your channel is dope. I love talking hoops, plus everyone is chill and show love. Appreciate that, Jermaine. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I'm not here. If I get a little bit emotional, it's to probably put facts out there. Well, yo, I just try to be even keeled. I try to be chill. Just have it to where everybody could just come, hang, we talk basketball. The times that I will have the panel, I will have the panel. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to let you know that I'm going to be doing another, the best of their era between, but I'm gonna twist it a little bit. I think what I might possibly do is we're gonna have ourselves a little fantasy draft, where I'm gonna have a panel, and you're gonna get to choose. We're gonna get to choose players off the NBA, off the NBA. Kind of have a little draft. Like I got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of cooking. Big Lou, Freddie says, stop trolling, man, because MJ was drunk off the night before. Be real. I guess it could be narratives. Who knows? I mean, look at it this way. If he was drunk, if he was smoking a cigar, if he had food poisoning, if he had the flu, the bottom line is this. The man scored 38 points in a crucial game 5. Even if he was dehydrated, without changing his game, the narrative is completely different. It's completely differently. Also, Pacers did choke a 13-point lead in Game 7 and had chances to execute on both sides of the ball when they had the lead late. Trust me, that was probably the most gut-wrenching and the most nervous the Bulls were. From them losing their chance at the three-peat and the Pacers ending their dynasty, how much more will we be talking about Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan? It'd be crazy. The question that I have, though, is to y'all in the chat, do y'all think that Jordan would have been content had he lost to Reggie Miller in the 98 Eastern Conference Finals, or would he have run it back to get another crack at Reggie and try to see if he can knock him off to try to win a 6th title? What do y'all think? Like, do y'all think that would have been possible? Like, let me know in the comments. Do you think Jordan would have ran it back to want to try to knock off Reggie Miller had Reggie Miller been the person to end the dynasty of the Chicago Bulls, him and the Indiana Pacers? What do y'all think? Like, does it really matter that he had anything? Like I said, again, with Michael, it don't matter if the man had food poisoning, if the man was hungover. The bottom line is, when the game was on the line in a tie series, the man balled out. To be honest with you, I don't even know how Michael did it, to be honest with you, because Michael even said that they used to drink beers during halftime, and that was, I believe, around in the 88, 89, 90 season, around there, during that stretch. And the fact that dude smoked so many cigars and he was able to still perform at the level he did, like, that's amazing. And again, Lowly once said, running back. That's right, running back. No, Mike did drink. In the beginning of his career, he did not drink, but he started to drink as he got older. Like, to be honest with you, what concerns me about MJ now, I'm wondering how much drinking he's doing at his age, just because of the color of his eyes. That to me is kind of telltale right there, and that kind of scares me in terms of his health. So I am a little bit concerned with MJ, especially when looking at his eyes. When I look at his eyes like that, that tells me something could be wrong for me with his liver. So MJ, at least take care of yourself enough to be able to live long enough to you continue to see at least see your twins grow. That's right. If that were true, how does allegedly being drunk change the fact that they won the game? That's what's up. You got to join us live on the panel for the shows. Definitely, man. I'm sending out invites. Like, definitely, man. You really think so? In my opinion, I said MJ would have tried to get revenge on Reggie in '99 had Indiana knocked off Chicago in '98. Possible. Don't matter, man. They won, bro. The bottom line is he still did the impossible in that game, the most epic performance of all time. That's the reason that his Jordan 12s get so much high regard for that. All right, getting back to on Reggie. What stood out to me about the Reggie and Michael, rivalry, obviously they talked about when Reggie was trying to make a name for himself and he kind of trash talked Michael when he had a good first half, and Michael kind of shook his head and looked at him, and then Michael comes back and he scored 40 points in the second half, I think, or he had 42 points in the second half, whatever. Reggie only scored 12 points in the game after he outscored him 10-4 in the first half. That's crazy. Then on top of that, Reggie started calling him Black Jesus, and he never called him Michael Jordan or just Air Jordan or Jordan. He just said he had to call him Jordan, the Black Cat, or Black Jesus. That's it. Because Jordan told him, don't you ever disrespect Black Jesus again. And Reggie, what I still don't understand is how the NBA is penalized. They didn't kick Michael out that game in that regular season game in '93, but then they suspend him the next game. I didn't understand that. So the Bulls got to win the game. Michael got to play in the second half. Michael initiated that stuff. Yeah, Reggie shoved him, but Michael was throwing elbows. So like I said, Michael must have been pissed off or something. Like he scratched Reggie's face, and the man was able to throw 1-2, through a punch. It didn't land like the way Michael wanted to because all the players were trying to separate Reggie. But Reggie was Reggie also said that a lot of people feared Mike, and he wasn't one of those to back down. And I got to give Reggie a lot of credit for somebody who's skinny. For somebody who's a skinny player, Reggie was very confident, and he used trash talk to motivate him to play well, despite the fact that Reggie was a shooter. And he, like I said, occasionally put the ball on the floor. But Reggie could go get you a bucket, like in big-time situations, right? But it was crazy that after Reggie, I believe, lost the first 2 games of the series, Mike is waiting for him in the back, and he's sitting on the chair, and Michael says, "My brother." I was like, really? I was like, wow. Like, Mike had that kind of respect for Reggie, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Tyree says, check your notifications. I'm not receiving anything. What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, shout out to Tyree. I can see you. I know he looked terrible. So glad he released this because we don't know what his health is like. It's true because I'm looking at his eyes like shout out to Tyree. I mean, I could see you here, but I'm surprised that notifications is not. You have to, you might have to hit the bell. That's the thing. What happens is that for some reason YouTube takes off the notifications. So when you don't receive them, you got to make sure that bell is turned on. So when I always say in my videos, I'll be like, smash the like, hit the subscribe. I always say make sure your notifications are turned on. So you always got to check that bell. That's the key. What's good? Yet another example of his competitiveness and a killer mentality. And the crazy part is he even told Reggie when he gave him a dap and he says, yo, it's going to be a fierce battle. He said, I knew that coming in. He said, it's all part of the battle. And I said, yo, for two guys that play competitively, man, there's a lot of mutual respect there. So the fact that, you know, MJ said, Reggie, my brother, I was like, you know what? I was like, I didn't know that their mutual respect, they actually had a good friendship. I didn't even know that. That's weird though. YouTube's been screwing up on that. I don't even know. It's crazy. Yeah. But again, shout out to Tyree in the building. All right, so the Indiana Pacers and the Bulls. That was the most difficult 7-game series that I think that the Bulls have ever been a part of. Just the tooth and nail, the back and forth. And like G Money said, Pacers had a 13-point lead. They definitely should have won that game. But shout out to Bill Wennington when he said if you watch the '98 championship video, he says, I think it was just a matter of wills, I think. And it's true. It comes down to the wills. For Jordan and the Bulls to just grind out that win in such a defensive battle in an era when it was just hard to score points. And Ron says, the red eyes on the look of Michael is concerning. It is. And I think that Michael really needs to get checked out because I'm concerned that, something worse could happen down the line. And I don't wish that on Michael. But I'm just saying the look on his eyes, they're just not normal, even for his age. So he might have to get himself checked out to see what they can do to hopefully see if they can kind of correct that and see that he, obviously gets better. So, yeah, Reggie, he proved that he was a fierce competitor. Michael showing all of the Bulls, showing the Pacers respect. And Reggie, Jalen Rose saying that they had an opportunity to win, and they did. Freddie D says Mike had a drink beside him doing the interview. No, you know what it was too? His mom, Dolores, found out that he was bringing drink to the interviews. She kind of took that away. It was more so for a professional thing. But the thing is, he's gonna have to, in my opinion, really watch his drinking because Michael is not in his 30s. Michael's not in his prime. The brother is about to be 60 years old. And you know that your body slows down as you get older. Yeah, Reggie's very underrated with his trash talking. There was a video out by MJ23 His Airness. And make sure you guys go check out that channel. He uploaded a video. The YouTuber uploaded a video today, and it was showing Reggie and his ability to mentally get into your head. So he kind of acted with John Starks. John Starks, as great of a competitor as he is, it's very easy to get into his head. It's very easy to get into his head. So Reggie Miller was able to do that, and he got John Starks kicked out when he did his little headbutt thing to Reggie. Reggie kind of acted like if he got ketchup on his face, and he kind of put an acting job. And I was like, John Starks, you fell for that, man. And Patrick Ewing was all over up in his face, like how you get kicked out in a game like this, man. And it's like it helped the Pacers win. And Reggie just said that. He said, look, give John Starks credit. He's a great competitor, but he felt mentally he was not sharp. He said, whereas he really can't do that to Michael because Michael was a little more mentally sharp, when it came to the mental edge and having that mental IQ, especially when you're playing big playoff games. The Pacers had a lot of length. Derek McKee, the Davis boys, Rick Smiths, like Pacers, they were deep. Very good defensively, top 5 defense. Well, again, when you look at the Pacers, they don't scream at you as a dynamic team. But if you understand the period, because the thing is also the Pacers were not an athletic team. They didn't have very good foot speed. So they were a small half-court team. That's what it boils down to. So they were very competitive. That's the key. So it went 7 games because the Pacers were a competitive team. I mean, Reggie really was the only true all-star on the team. I mean, Reggie made 5. Rick Smith's, I believe, he made 2. Yeah, that's what you got to understand with this. Some of these teams, it's like it's kind of hard, but then you could kind of say, yeah, they're good for their era. Karl Malone, Scottie Pippen. The Utah Jazz, folks, and yeah, the Bulls ended up winning in 7. Great series. That was a great series. Classic. The crowds were very into it. As you can see, the little championship symbol right there by Karl Malone. This, the 97 Jazz, they were in a lot of close games in those NBA Finals. Joel says 5 of Michael's 6 championships went 6 games. Yeah, the only one that didn't go 6 was obviously the Lakers series. Freddie Gee says, Lou, I just don't think that they beat any of the Western Conference teams that the Bulls beat. It'd be interesting to see. Are you talking about the teams in '98? Well, if it was the '98 team, it would have been against the Utah Jazz. I wonder how that series was going to go. I wonder. All right, get into Karl Malone. He had his moments, but his inability to be consistent in a playoff series in the finals back-to-back years really, really hurt him. When you look at John Stockton, he was a player that definitely could have done better if he would have taken more chances in the finals. That's just a real unfortunate thing with Utah, because if you look at all of those games, with the exception of game 2 and 3, all of the games were close. Game 1 came down to the last shot. Game 4 was a 5-point game. If you look at game 5, Michael hitting that go-ahead 3-pointer, that was big. So then there's that. Then if you look at game 6, Steve Kerr, hitting that shot to put the Utah Jazz away. And listen, I know people get on Scottie Pippen for the big moments, but in that 2-point game in the 97 finals in game 6, Pippen came up with that huge steal, and he didn't even give the Utah Jazz a possession, a chance to try to tie or take the lead to win the game in game 6. So I got to give Scottie Pippen a lot of props for making the steal to pretty much help seal. So that Jordan was obviously going to get double teamed. He kicked it out to Steve, and Steve hits that go-ahead jumper, and then Scottie Pippen with the big steal to not even give the Jazz a possession, on the switch, because the ball, I forgot who the ball was supposed to go to, but he tried to give it to Shannon Anderson, and Scottie Pippen gets the overplay, taps it. Kukoc runs the floor, gets the ball, and he dunks it, and the Bulls win their 5th championship by 4. That's how much respect that I got to give Scottie Pippen on that defensive possession. Let me see. In the 97 finals, 4 of the 6 games were decided by 5 points or less. That's how close they were. And the Bulls needed 3 clutch shots to beat them in game 1, game 5, and game 6. Facts. Jordan hit game 1 and game 5, and then Steve Kerr hit the one in game 6, and Scottie Pippen with that big one. That Rodzilla story was crazy. I think being able to grind out those tough wins is impressive in itself. It takes execution and mental toughness. Absolutely. Absolutely. No question about that. Tyree says, yeah, Karl Malone had a lot of moments that caused his team to lose close games. Yeah, Layla, the Bulls West NBA Finals competition was tough, and they were a few circumstances away from winning chips or even pushing the Bulls to 7 games. But the issues of the Jazz were Karl Malone and John Stockton. I just felt that in big moments, they didn't take it. Karl Malone just struggled shooting the ball. John Stockton's problem was he didn't take chances. I remember in the 98 finals, started out great. He started out great with 24 points, and I said, damn, if John Stockton plays like that, the Utah Jazz will win the series. He didn't play like that at all the rest of the series. So now let me just we're going to go back a little bit. And we'll get to the 98 finals, which pretty much sealed the deal. Steve Kerr, I thought his story was very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And it made me realize that him and Michael Jordan are actually more similar than people honestly realize. It was crazy. You're talking about two fiery guys. You're talking about a player who, just like Michael, had lost his father. That was really the most interesting thing that I saw in that documentary. Steve may have been a role player, and he had to earn his stripes in the league because this was a guy who was not highly recruited. He did not get a scholarship. His dad was a scholar, like his mom. His mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she eventually became a professor. His dad went to an Arabian government, but he was a famous scholar that was known as Beirut, as they mentioned in the documentary. And what was so compelling was what Steve was talking about, that he had fiery competitiveness. And I'm like, MJ had fiery competitiveness too when he was a kid. And the way that his dad passed away in 1984, I looked at Steve Kerr's mom, Ann. She reminded me of MJ's mom, Dolores. It was crazy how both of their fathers died. Steve Kerr's dad got shot in the head. And this was when Steve was younger. Unfortunately for Michael, his dad died when he was in the prime of his life and in his career at 30 years old with Stockton. Not Stockton, Steve Kerr. It was crazy to hear something like that. And how Steve Kerr even said that he never brung up when Jason, the person who was in charge of helping put together the documentary, he asked him, did you ever talk to Michael, about what happened, with, your dad and your dad's? And he said, no, we never discussed it because I felt like it was too painful. I never knew that about Steve Kerr. Never knew that. And like I said, his mom reminded me of Dolores' mom on how strong they were during a time like that. Dolores losing her husband, James, and losing her husband, Malcolm. That struck me. And I said to myself, both Jordan and Steve Kerr are fiery. Both Jordan and Steve Kerr had fathers that they loved so much and that they looked up to, and both of them passed away. And it was the way that he died, shot in the head with two dudes pretending to be students. Wow. I didn't even know what to say about that, man. That to me was crazy. I did not know what to make of that. That struck me so much. The crazy part was when I saw Steve and he was trying to hold back tears, I couldn't. I could shout out to Champ Ross in the building. Yeah, shout out to Josh the GOAT. Again, guys, make sure to smash the like, hit that subscribe. Make sure you're sharing this on social media, on your social media platforms, on Reddit. That was so interesting, man. G Money asks, do you think the Bulls NBA Finals West teams beat Bron's NBA Finals West teams? I say yes, but it will be tough. Listen, again, not to get on Bron, but I honestly think that Bron's competition was difficult in the finals. I'm not gonna sit here and deny that. I'm not gonna sit here and deny that. The issue that I had with Bron was this issue of, not that I say that he was gonna win, those, but the fact that he could have been competitive in some of those. Again, I look at 2017 and 2018. Were the Warriors gonna win? Yeah, everybody knew the Warriors were gonna win because they were the favorites. But when you watch that, but the thing is, betting odds will tell you one thing, watching the games will tell you another. And when I watched the games, Cleveland had an opportunity to pull 2 games at the very least in that series in 2017 and 2018. They didn't get it done. Especially if you consider with the help of the refs in game 4, they got 22 first quarter free throws. I'm like, if they win game 3 and then the refs give, all those whistles, in favor of Cleveland, I'm like, we're looking at a 2-2 tie here going into Golden State. And who knows how different the series would have been. But LeBron and Kyrie choked that game 3 away with the poor execution that they displayed down the stretch. Yeah, I did not know about Steve's dad. I felt so bad for Steve. I really felt so bad for Steve. And how did Michael earn Steve's respect? Steve may have been a short guy, but at the same time, he shows you he was no pushover. Competitive as heck down to the wire, but the Bulls were older than the IT Pistons, but they were old, right? I'll have to do the math myself, but I seen a star that the Jazz won the most games for 6 and 7 straight seasons, but never got to the finals until 97. Actually, I believe the Utah Jazz won more games than anybody, I believe, in the 1990s, and they only went to the NBA Finals twice. John Stockton was on record as saying, we played some pretty good-ass teams. Everybody will feel different. The thing that really stood out to me was the execution. Tell them, Layla, Bulls were not a perfect team, but they had to overcome tough challenges. I don't know how them deals. Yo, this guy. Shout out to Champ Ross. The Jazz, Sonics, and Suns would beat KD, the KD or pre-KD Warriors. CP3 and James nearly beat the KD Warriors, and Luke Baumute got hurt. IT's Pistons was supposedly old when MJ beat them, but MJ was older than them in the 97-98 and was still winning chips. The hypocrisy and double standards. I'm going to say this real quick about the Pistons. I will say this. To be fair to Detroit, the Detroit Pistons, yes, they were not old. That's a stupid narrative that people have been doing to try to discredit MJ. But I will say this. They had been to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 straight times. So that wasn't easy on their part. I give them credit for getting there. But the thing is, if you watch that series, Detroit, people were saying that Detroit, they were kind of tired. But look what Detroit tried to do. They tried to be physical with Chicago to try to mentally get them out of their game because they saw how different Chicago took it to them in the first 2 games of that series in 91. Once the Pistons knew that they could not mentally get to Chicago, they were not going to win. The Bulls beat them with execution. They beat them with great defense, something that the Pistons were known for, even though obviously the media use their narrative with Detroit as just being nothing but dirty. Listen, the Pistons had a combination of being dirty with playing good, technically sound defense. That's my objective view on it, and you have to give Detroit credit. It's how they won their championships. It's what their staple is. It's who they became. So I'm going to give them their props. Yeah, Steve Kerr, his father, he passed away he got shot in the head. While being part of the, it was very sad. I actually almost started tearing up. I never knew that about Steve Kerr, seeing that. I think the 93 Suns against the Warriors, that would be a great ass matchup. The Suns could run and gun with the best of them. People forget about that hell. Yeah, they could beat the Warriors, would be a good ass series. True. Magic didn't make excuses when they lost like the Pistons did. If you thought that Bron had a chance to win, that's high praise. Not the series, games in the series. Never said that they were going to win. They were not the favorites. I just said that they would have made it a more competitive series. The problem is Braun gave the people the mindset that there was just no way they were going to beat them. You can change all that by the way you play. And that's the thing that people need to understand. If you look at the NBA finals that LeBron's played in, dude, in 7 of the 9 finals, he played the Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs. At least with MJ, the only opponent he played the same was Utah. The other opponents were different. Oh yeah, I know, but but I'm not even gonna get on that one. You already know. Yep. Yep. Warriors should have won in 5 or 6 anyway. Nah, I disagree. Those dirty defense the Pistons played caught up to them. It wasn't sustainable. Yeah, especially with the fact that they were getting older and they were starting to have injuries. I'll say this. I hold MJ, shout out to Duality. He says, I hold MJ's. Damn, we got to get the likes up, man. 16 likes for this video? Come on, man. Let's get the likes up on this one, man. Coming back with that Last Dance documentary series. It was an amazing documentary. And again, I love and appreciate Steve Kerr. I have newfound respect for Steve just for what he went through as growing up, losing his father, who he was very close to. Because they have more talent. We'll see. Yep. Okay, if we're gonna say that, then that means, let me not get into that. Let me not get into that because we're just gonna be beating a dead horse with the same argument every single time. Iverson was able to get a game against the 2001 Lakers, and the GOAT could not get one in 2018. Make it make sense. No, what I said was 2018, game 1 and game 3. Those are the 2 games that I look in 2018 that the Cavs had an opportunity to win because those games were close. Everybody knows what happened with J.R. Smith, and everybody knows what happened with George Hill. Everybody knows about that already. But again, that's where your leadership's got to show right there. That's where your leadership has got to show. I think Malcolm Kerr's death was mentioned in the documentary and film about the incident. Yeah, it was. That's what was so moving to me about it. Wow. Jermaine says, man, LeBron and any of his second banana teammates are argumentatively better than what Jordan had in Scottie Pippen. Oh, also remember, Steph was injured. Clay was also injured, even though they were there. You already know. No, don't worry about it, lowly one. It's all good. Oh, did he? Did he? I might have to see that. I might have to see that video. Damn. Yep. It's all right. Yeah, to me that was crazy. Wait, which game are you talking about? Okay, can we just stop talking about the Raptors and all that? That's old news. Like we get we get into that argument every single time. We really don't go anywhere with that. It is what it is. Raptors are the champions. Golden State got their trophies. Back to the last dance. All right, Freddie says Kobe had a terrible game one. Kobe had a horrific first half. I think he scored 4 points with 4 turnovers, and AI was cooking him. Oh, you talking about 2001 finals? Not The Last Dance, but a documentary about how the Beirut incident affected geopolitical affairs. Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. It is what it is. But I was happy that Steve Kerr stood up to Michael and was able to earn his respect. And then shout out to Steve for being ready and able to knock the shot down to win, to help the Bulls win their fifth NBA championship. And you can see Michael really giving Steve Kerr his props. And at the end of that 1997 NBA Finals Game 6, Michael said, man, Steve Kerr really earned his wings and, he flew. He really earned his stripes that night. And I give Steve Kerr major respect and props. And I do understand what you're saying. I'm going to have to go see that video. The Raptors will be back-to-back champions effectively with this canceled season. I don't know if that's going to happen. Doesn't really matter. I remember hearing Kerr's speech live. Oh, it was cool listening to Kerr, what he said. He was like, yo, so we go into the huddle, call the timeout. Phil's telling about Michael's trying to get the last shot, and he's like, Michael tells Phil, listen, Phil, I think we might have to go a different route. I'm not comfortable in these situations. I said we need to go to Steve. So Steve says, well, I got to bail Michael out again. I'm like, there you go, Steve. I said, there you go. And it's his story, and he's sticking to it. Oh man, when he trolled Michael like that, I was cracking up, and I said, "That's the thing about Steve. He's always known to be a little bit of a jokester. I mean, he had it even then. Crazy." I gotta say, Steve Kerr has got to be one of the most fortunate guys on this planet Earth with the career he's had. For being a role player. I mean, think of the guys he's played with: Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Was coached by Phil Jackson, gets traded to San Antonio, plays with Tim Duncan and David Robinson for 2 NBA championships, and then plays with Greg Popovich. Was an analyst for TNT, was a GM for the Phoenix Suns, then coaches the Warriors and gets to coach Steph, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They eventually get Kevin Durant. They get Boogie Cousins, and he wins 3 more NBA championships. I mean, how fortunate can a guy be like Steve Kerr? It's crazy. And God bless him too. Sometimes in this life, you got to be lucky. One game doesn't change the fact that you lose a series. You see how you move the goalposts? I say Mike couldn't win a first round series, but Bron has to win a game versus the best team. The problem that I have with that statement, Freddie, is the fact that, again, I never said Bron was going to win the series, but he would have had more respect if he showed the mindset of a competitor. Because again, if you watch those series, the games were closer than people. There were some games that weren't, but if you look at it, they had an opportunity. They trust me, because let's say that the Cavs win those games, you don't think Bron is going to start to show more confidence game by game, and then he's going to start to believe that they can win? And the problem is, if you look at the 2017 and 2018 series, Bron came in with the mindset that he was not going to win. And as a leader, you don't do that to your team. The game 1 in 2018, I know that J.R. Smith was heartbreaking, but you still had overtime. It's true. You got to rally the troops. I told you, those guys screwed up. Like, I don't deny that, man, but you rally the troops. Could have really put some doubt in the Warriors, man, if they do that. Yeah, Kerr was the GM during the Nash era. Oh yeah, Steve Kerr's shot was money. Yeah, if you pull up the article about it and listen to his entire story in terms of the whole geopolitical affairs that Duality was talking about, but then also the way he got shot, uh, and his wife, Steve Kerr's mom, Ann, she thought he got shot like in the leg or the arm. No, he got shot in his head. Got shot in his head. Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. It would have been hilarious if Ray Allen made the same speech. Oh damn! But you know, them dudes would have took it seriously though, for keeping me on my toes and changing basketball subjects and angles. No MJ, no Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr hit some big shots. You can also ask the San Antonio Spurs too. I mean, he definitely facts. Raptors played well and they were allowed to play their game. Pitt barely averaged 20, but LeBron's has 20 plus or close to it and had a big three. The Bulls were really like a 1-2 punch. Yeah, great defense and a 1-2 punch. That's what I would call the Bulls. A great defense with a 1-2 punch. That actually makes perfect sense. I was saying because of the canceled season, the Raps can claim the title for 2 years. Oh yeah. No, I feel you what you're saying. Freddie, overtime, dude. That didn't end the game, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It didn't. You still had overtime, man. I'm not saying that LeBron can't do nothing about that. I get that, but again, if you look at the other players and how they were trying to rally, and you looked at LeBron, that said that painted the whole picture for the series. And people forget that game two was pretty close for most of that game. That's what people don't understand. No, the worst part that I saw was when he made that excuse. That's what really like got me upset. That after game four, you come out with a cast of your wife's scarf with a quote unquote broken hand. That to me was crazy. And I said, what you're holding in your right hand was your broken spirit, not a broken hand. Your cast was symbolizing your broken spirit. And I'm just like, what is this, man? And then the media, oh, we're just finding out that you suffered a broken hand. It's like, cut the nonsense. Cut the nonsense. If the media learned about the broken hand, why did he say after game one it was all emotion? You see how they twisted the story in that press conference right there? I'm like, what? When I hear that, I said, oh man, this dude was trying to find an excuse if they lost. Come on, dog. He was in his feelings, exactly. He was in his feelings. Yeah, he empowered Steve Kerr. He did. And like I said, all of his teammates said, that happened. It's true, man. Listen, I would be mad too, but at the same time, you got to collect yourself in that moment, man, because it's like you still got to be in the moment. Dude, it's all over the tape. You really can't make this stuff up. All right, let it go, Freddie. I'm sorry. Let it go, G Money. Let it go. No, man, Freddie, all good, bro. That's a good man right there. Whether he's serious, whether he's trolling, good man. Uh, so yeah, I give MJ a lot of credit for entrusting Steve Kerr like that. Steve Kerr doing his thing, and they're able to win. Then they win the '97 championship. All right, now He said, "Tell him, Lou." I appreciate it. I'm sorry, man. I was not happy with that switch. With that switch that KD got. The funny thing is they were actually showing some things of the fans of when that switch happened, yelling, and it happened. All right. Yeah, that was my issue. That was my issue. There's nothing wrong with you being mad at one play, but the thing is, if you look at him in the huddle, I'm asking myself, you just that's it? Like the game is over? Like that was the thing. Like his the way he pouted, he was like, "Oh, the game is over. We're not gonna win." I'm like, it's still a tie score. Jr. screwed up. He don't get a pass for that. Jr. didn't know what he was doing, and I put blame on Ty Lue, not being able to coach. Not being able to coach in that situation. I'm sorry, can't. But like I said, as a leader of the team, you can't. I'm sorry, can't do that, man. And it's like the Duality said, one play, fine, but it's like, yo, but he gave up on the series after that one play, man. That's why I was pissed off at him. And I lost respect. I lost respect. I lost respect for Braun as a competitor when he did that. Like that's not cool to do that in the big moments, man. You just. I'm not saying other dudes have quit in the past because they have, but the dude did it in the NBA Finals. Nah, Freddie ain't no troll. They make, yeah, I know. They just, yeah, no. Disagreements, like I said, always welcome, man. Disrespect game. Like I said, man, we got to get those likes up, man. We got 24 people watching, man. We only got 16 likes, man. We gotta come on, man. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes up. We got 25 people watching, man. Let's get those likes up. But they needed to move on. If you look at the rest of the team, they saw what happened, but they tried to move on and they tried to refocus. But my thing is, how was everybody able to do that, but not, the best player on the team, the leader? And that's why LeBron takes a hit in leadership. And I never felt like I said he's a great player, but I never felt like he was a great leader. I never felt that way. Listen, those two get blamed, but there were other factors. The problem is we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, man. The key thing is gonna be once you hit that 1K, that's gonna be the key. Like I said, man, like this is gonna be the platform. It's like again, I got some ideas, man. Want to do some, obviously want to do some prize. I want to do some like stuff with like prizes. That's it. Yo, I'm loving it, man. MJ was on a lottery team with drug addicts at 8 seed, with which 8 seeds are supposed to lose, man. LeBron had a championship team and got so totally different circumstances. Oh man. So unattractive to see a man so emotional blaming others because of his own decisions. I acknowledge that Mike has the better accomplishments and resume. I could lie, but I won't. Freddie gave in your mind. It just seemed that you were making excuses for Bron. Oh no, no, no. Everybody here makes sound arguments. Everybody here makes sound arguments. Like I said, we ain't always gonna agree on everything. That's a given. All right, what else stood out to me in that documentary? Um, oh, Scottie Pippen. Let me get to Scottie Pippen. You know, the traveling cocaine circus. According to MJ, he had never heard of that term. Sometimes you don't even know if you want to take his word for it or not. Who knows? But all right, let's go to the NBA Finals. All right, there's my man. All right, let me just give a shot. Nah, I don't like that one. Yeah. Y'all see that pic right there? I got to give the people whoever shot this image right here of MJ, right there, this Pip holding him, he's probably smiling at MJ saying, yo, thank you for saving my ass because I didn't play well. You were sick and, you was able to score 38 points. Again, but shout out to Scottie Pippen. Shout out to MJ. Two of the GOATs. Obviously Scottie being a top 50 player. Like I said, I always going to give respect to Scottie, but that image is so telltale right there. Look at the camera right there on MJ. You can see the NBA on NBC camera if you guys look to the left. And right there where it's, showing. That was an unbelievable game. No matter what Michael was, that dude was ready. I don't know how that guy did it. I really don't know how that guy did it. To be able to do that in the way he did, my brother actually has a pair of those Jordan 12s, the red and black. Arguably my favorite colorway. I really did wish that they came out with the cherry 12s. I would rock those if I got the chance. I got the French blues. The French blues are actually my favorite colorway, but if I was to get a chance, I would love to do those again, for sure. It's pretty crazy. I would love those again. But yeah, it's an amazing image, folks. It's an amazing image. And when you win, you douse yourself in champagne. They go Rodman. I believe this is when they won their 6th title, right? Yes. I believe this is when they won their 6th title. And let me just show my man Reggie Miller real quick. That's what you do when you know that you can't beat Black Jesus, man, in the NBA playoffs, as he's called them. What you can't do when you blame Black Jesus. When you can't beat him, that's what you do. You just gotta turn. You just gotta say, hey, man. This is why they keep saying, man, that guy MJ, that guy's as great as he is. So you already know. Let me just check the chats real quick. Of course, but Freddie still got to get it done. They still could get it done. I certainly didn't give him a pass. I told you, JR screwed up, and so did George Hill. That man played as perfect as you could. The coach says 48, not 53. Yep, but if you need 53, that's why your best player got to come through. Listen, hey, 19 likes, let's keep it going. What did Duality say? Didn't Freddie cook G Money during the call-in? Does it make it easy to accept the L if you call Freddie a troll? LeBron's demeanor, body language after that just retarded Smith play. Yeah, see? I call him that all the time, just retarded Smith. I've been saying that about JR. Good player, man, but JR Hennessy Smith, stay on that Henny. So the thing is, you know what teammates you got. But JR found a way to screw up, as JR does. Facts. Getting swept on a lottery team that is the 8th seed is not as bad as getting swept while you're on a championship team. While you have a championship team, you're not supposed to get swept. I love Jays, man, but they're uncomfortable as fuck. Well, it depends on which Jays you have. I know the Jordan 6s, Jordan's first championship shoe, those are uncomfortable, and you would have to go on a bigger size just because that's a very narrow shoe. The Air Jordan 5s are actually very comfortable. I guess it depends on everybody's taste. Marshall says, 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say a famous line. So I said the line I had to say, my loyalty happened to go this way. I'm down with the king. But what's a king in this portal when MJ's immortal? Ooh, I like that. Dude, that was in the beginning of his career, bro. You can't change that. That was in the beginning of his career. No, the Bulls were actually the underdogs against the Utah Jazz. They were the underdogs against the Los Angeles Lakers. And I believe they were also the underdogs against the Phoenix Suns. They were the favorites against the Blazers, Sonics, and Jazz in 97. But to make Freddie Gee happy out here, I already got something pulled up, and it was about the NBA Finals from 2004 to 2018. Now, if we look at LeBron, all right, if we go to 2007, San Antonio was a minus 500 favorite. Cleveland was a 350 underdog. 2007 NBA Finals. But again, betting odds would tell you San Antonio was the favorite. Yes, obviously. But if you watch the series, Cleveland lost 3 of those 4 games by single digits, which tells you that betting odds don't always seem the way they should be because you got to still play the game. 3 out of 4, you lose by single digits. What does that tell you? You got a chance to win. And San Antonio was not an explosive offensive team in 2007. Let's make that clear. That was a middle of the pack offensive team. And that was with LeBron struggling. They lost by 3 in game 3, and they lost by 1 in game 4 at home. They lost by a combined 4 points in Cleveland. Like, I thought the Spurs, blew them out, but I forgot that the games were close. It just came down to late game execution because we probably be talking about 2 Cleveland wins at home. And remember, Cleveland had 3 games at home, even though the Spurs had the home court advantage. All right, so the Cavs were the underdog, so LeBron was underdog in that one. All right, let's go to okay, the Lakers were the favorites in all 3 of the finals they played in, even though Boston beat them. But I'm kind of surprised that Boston was kind of the underdog, only for the fact that Boston, to me, had the better team in 2008. Okay, 2011. Dallas, they were 160 underdogs. Miami was a minus 180 favorites. 2012. I'm really surprised that OKC was the favorite against the Miami Heat. I'm kind of surprised at that because that was an inexperienced Oklahoma City team. Very, very talented, but Oklahoma City was experienced. I thought that at the very least Oklahoma City would go to a game 6, but I thought that the experience of the Heat was going to be OKC. So I actually picked the Heat to win, but that's not what the Vegas odds said. Okay, 2013, the Miami Heat were the favorites to win it. Yeah, they were favorites in 2013, 240, minus 240. San Antonio was a 200 underdog. Then you got 2014. Then if you look at, it's crazy. And then if you look at that series, Miami almost lost it. Then you look at 2014, the Spurs minus 125 favorites. Miami was a 105 underdog. The funny thing with Miami, as Dwayne Wade said when he was in Cleveland in 2017, the 2018 Cavs in the first half of the season, he said that team reminded him of the 2014 team. They were kind of on cruise control. They kind of really were just kind of coasting through the regular season. I know Wade had injuries. He was not the same Wade. He would only give you glimpses of flash. So I will give that in. And I'm going to say this again. LeBron James balled out in game 6 when he struggled through the first 3 quarters. He didn't have a great series. He did have 16 points in the 4th quarter. I haven't really been looking at the checkers. I've been looking at the whole over and underdog for LeBron being the underdog in 7 of the 9 finals, because that's what it boils down to. But at the end of the day, you gotta play the games, because like Herm Edwards said, as the coach that he is, he goes, "Hello, you play to win the game," right? So yeah, the Spurs were obviously the favorites in that series just because of Miami won in 2013, so they had the odds to win. Now, if you look at 2015, the reason that the Warriors were the favorites was because there was no Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving, he did play game one, and he was actually playing pretty well, but he got injured when Klay Thompson tried to steal the ball from Kyrie, and Kyrie's patella pretty much hit the hardwood, and Kyrie was gone for the series. To be honest with you, I actually thought LeBron played his best ball, even though he did struggle. That to me was the LeBron that just really didn't give a damn, and he did whatever it took to try to win. And I got to give LeBron credit for that, stepping up in 2015. The numbers will tell you that he struggled, obviously, shooting the ball, of course. The Warriors weren't going to let him attack the basket all the time. But I give him major respect in 2015 for doing what he said. You know, so I give him his props. That's a good question, Duality. I never thought of that. Why wasn't he considered the first? That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh, Josh, you don't have a wrench? Oh, my bad. Yo, I thought Josh, you had one. My fault. So here, man, I just added you. Shout out to Josh, man. You are now a moderator. Let me get Watchful News in here as well. You are also a moderator. Congratulations. Joel Hayward, I got to get you as well because you've been consistent and you've been in here. So shout out to you, all you guys. I also got to get Tyree in there. Shout out to you as well. You are now a moderator for the channel. Again, shout out to Weiss in the building. The Heat were favored to beat the Spurs after they won Game 2 in San Antonio. Yeah, but those were game odds. The ones that I'm telling you right now, G Money, are the series, not the games. They do change game by game. Yes, they do. So that is. But it's like I said, Lonely One doesn't have a wrench. I gotta. Oh no, the wrench is for being a moderator, Tyree. That's what that is. And where is Lowly One? I gotta get back to Lowly One. Let me see. When Lonely One makes the next comment, oh no, there goes Lonely One. And shout out, okay, man, shout out to the new moderators. All right, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the new mods. So you guys got all your wrenches. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all of you guys, man, for putting in work because you guys have definitely been doing it. So yeah, Lowly One, I just gave you a wrench. You're a moderator on the channel. So like I said, congratulations to all the new mods. Congratulations to all you guys. And like I said, I gotta get Ron and Jermaine. You guys will definitely be getting your wrenches soon. Just a couple of more times, and you're definitely getting there because it's like you guys kind of started coming, even though you guys have been, well, especially Jermaine because he had been following a while. But you guys, I definitely I got you guys soon. It's just these guys have been kind of rocking with me a little bit longer, but you guys will definitely get your shot too. And you guys are always bringing great points as well. Pookie, man, you show up more times as well, and you're definitely getting your wrench soon as well. And again, guys, keep smashing that like. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. And obviously, share the stream. You guys have been doing the thing and been great. All right, so let me get back to the odds. Getting back to those odds. It's like we made it. Congratulations, man. All right, so 2015 Golden State, 2016 was Golden State. It's pretty weird. It's weird because again, what Vegas odds says, what the media says from what they, especially the basketball analysts, it's like it's all different and subjective. the key thing is betting odds change when a team wins. If it's the team that's expected to win, then the odds don't change. The odds are going to change as you play the games. That's why I said that betting odds sometimes can't always be, they can be very deceiving as the series come in. Okay, so 2016, obviously, Golden State was a 200 favorite. Cleveland was a 162 underdog. The 2015 ones, Golden State was a 190 favorite, and Cleveland was a 170 underdog. And then the 2017, damn, look at the odds they put that. With the inclusion of Kevin Durant, Cleveland had they were a plus 1,000, while Golden State was a minus 2,000. Damn. That's crazy. And then if you look at in 2018, Golden State started out as minus 900 favorites, but then they moved up to 1,000, while the Cavs went from plus 675 underdogs, but then they moved down to 720. They moved up to 725. Plus 725 as the underdogs in that series. No, Bron gave it his all in 2015 when he did that. Definitely, for sure. Yeah, no. That's a thing. All right, man. Continue to, like I said, so yeah, when you look at everything, like I said, the games are going to really more determine than betting odds. But yeah, if people want to say he was the underdog of 7 of the 9 finals, but again, a lot of these things got to have context in them, which they do. It's just, which narrative are you going to go with, man? You bring out great arguments, bro. You have the most underrated sports channel on YouTube. I appreciate that, Pookie. And let others know about the channel. I know, man said underrated. I appreciate that. Again, keep smashing that like. And so now let's go to the 1998 NBA Finals. And then we're going to close out on this. This was another excellent stream. I got to definitely get a panel in there. Don't worry. No, it's all good, man. Everybody is, everybody definitely has got their moments where they're busy and stuff like that. So it's understandable. We get to the 1998 NBA Finals. Now it's time to change. We're going to change thumbnails. There you go, the code engine. So there he goes. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe when he did that, it was game. So y'all remember the debut of the 4 teams, right? The debut of the 4 teams, they would tell you it was game 6. That's actually false. The 4 teams did not debut in game 6. They're known for the last shot. But Jordan actually debuted his 4 teams in game 4 of that series. That was the first time that they showed it. That's the first time his shoes actually debuted in the finals. All right, 1998 NBA Finals. They finished beating the Pacers. And I never thought that they would focus so much on that last play in game 6. The telltale thing about that series was Scottie Pippen actually started out playing well in that series. And I think by game 3, people thought he was going to get it. He was looking for an MVP. And some people thought to themselves, okay, Scottie's playing well. It looks like Scottie is finally going to get his chance due as, a great NBA player. And if he gets a finals MVP, just obviously the best of finals. He wouldn't have been the best in, 5, of all 6 NBA Finals. Tyrese says, do you rank T-Mac over Reggie? T-Mac was the better talent. T-Mac was definitely the better talent. And if you look at the 98 Finals, the Jazz had 4 out of 6 in 97. And then in 98, they had 5 out of 6 games that were very close. That's true. I think game 1 was decided by 4. I think game 2 was decided by 5. Very competitive games. The Bulls lost in overtime. And then, let me just change the thumbnail. Check this out. The most lopsided game in NBA history, finals history. Take a look at that score, ladies and gentlemen. In that game, it's crazy. Karl Malone started out great in that game. I think he hit his first 6 field goals. And the Bulls defense shut him, John Stockton, and shut down. And this was a very tired Bulls team coming off a 7-game series against the Pacers. They shut down the Jazz so bad that in the shot clock era, they beat them by 42 points. Look at that score, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see that score? 96-54. To this day, against a 62-win Jazz team, and the previous team had 64, still the largest margin of victory in finals history. To this day. I wouldn't say that. Maybe some, but not all. And like I said, talented, no. We can't call them dudes trash, man. No, the 2018 Cavs did not have the best chemistry. The 2007 Cavs were differently built. The 2007 Cavs were a defensive team, and LeBron was its best player. That's what the Cavs were in 2007. That's what they were. It was a great team. Well, the 2007 Cavs were not a great team. They were great defensively. They just were not. They were an offensively challenged team. That's what the Cavs were. Getting back to the 98 Finals. So game 3 was very lopsided. As you guys see that score. The score was 96-54. Damn. I never thought in my wildest dreams a team could get beat that severely in a finals game. I thought Utah would have been more competitive. You would think, how would they recover from that? And then we get back to my man Mike. And there he is in the 98 Finals right there against Karl Malone and Shannon Anderson right there. And we're going to get to the most beautiful picture in NBA Finals history. We're going to get there. Layla, for sure. Keep it going. Straight blowout. Chris Bosh, since he got rings, Vince underachieved. Oh no, Vince definitely underachieved. The Bulls were not a super team. I've been checking out your channel since the beginning, and I don't normally chime in on chats from other channels. I finally did just join in because of the objectivity of you guys. I appreciate it, Ron. No doubt. Appreciate that. I didn't realize you were checking that long, man, but definitely support from you. All right, man. Shout out to Ron Cowan, man. He's a real one. Shout out to him. All right, man. You definitely will be getting your wrench soon as a mod, because I definitely appreciate that. So getting back to game 5, this is when Karl Malone actually has the best game that he played in the series. The Bulls played a close game against Utah. I'm actually going to be watching those NBA Finals again to watch. The execution, I think, was what I was impressed with, even in Very slow game. So getting back to MJ, it was so yeah, he debuted the Air Jordan 14s in the series. So when he did that, I thought to myself that now we're not going to see the 13s anymore. So the Bulls win by 4 in game 4 with a more competitive Utah team. Game 5, Jeff Hornacek didn't really show up in that series. He only had one good game. Same thing with Stockton. Karl Malone had like 1 or 2 good games, maybe 3, but it was not that great. He said, got to get that bread. That Magic team was not that good. You know, yeah, T-Mac actually got in first ballot. And to be honest with you, I know that T-Mac, had he been healthy, would have been one of the most lethal scorers. But I'm saying if T-Mac is in the Hall of Fame, Chris Webber got to be in. Mike was T-Mac? Bro, I love T-Mac, but oh man, that's funny. So Karl Malone has the bet. Well, yeah, because in '97, Karl Malone had 37 points in game 3 or game 3. In game 5, Malone has the best game of his career in the finals. 39 points. Shot great. And what's crazy about it is that they needed every single one of his points because the Utah Jazz only won by 2 points. And Jordan shot a terrible 9 for 26 in that game. Terrible 9 for 26. Jordan shoots better. Obviously, the Bulls win. Easy. Kukoc had 30 in that game. I think on 11 of 15 shots. He shot 73%. Jordan shot 9 of 26. Pippen didn't do any better. So Pippen blows out his back in game 6. Hey, T-Mac was on that bronze medal team in 2004. That was with Vince, with Tim Duncan, with Allen Iverson. Jason Kidd was actually on that team. I forgot he was on that team. That was prime Jason Kidd, though. Now we move to game 6. Jordan and the Bulls, they were supposed to celebrate. If y'all remember, this happened in '93. Yeah, killing me, man. So game 6, they travel to Utah. Scottie Pippen blows out his back on the first play of the game. I'm like, damn. Wait, who mentioned about 3,000 points? Freddie T-Mac never won an Olympic medal, not scored 3,000 points, etc. Yeah, Jordan is the only player to score 3,000 points in a season. He had 3,041. That was in the 86-87 season. Yeah. Unless if Wilt did it, but I think he came close, but he didn't do it. I could be wrong. I'm about to check. Let me just check. Yo, why Michael look like he about to kiss Steve Kerr though, hugging him like that? Bro, that's type sus, Michael. Come on, dog. You probably looking at Steve Kerr. Yeah, yo, you do realize we would make a sexy ass Oreo, man, if we would have come together. Like, that's just mad sus of MJ to do that, bro. That's sus. Anyway. So Michael playing, I think he played 40. How many minutes did Michael play? Don't remember, but he really blew out his back. Yeah. Oh, Wilt. I was looking for Wilt. There you go. I was like, what was I looking for? Let me look for Wilt Chamberlain to see if he scored 3,000 points in a season. But we might have to factor how many games he played. Let me just check real quick. Wow, it actually spelled it with an M. Ridiculous. Let me just check out Wilt's stats just to give him his props. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I should do that in a future video for my man Wilt Still Chamberlain. Damn. 37 points, 38, 50, 44, 36, 34, 38, 30, 33. God damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Damn, he had 9. Yo, his first 9 seasons, he averaged over 30. God damn. Oh, actually, no. Jordan is the only shooting guard to have a 3,000 point season. He only did that once, though. He came close in 88. Wilt Chamberlain did it. He did it 3 times. Actually, in the 62 season, he had 4,029 points. In the 62-63 season, he had 3,586 points. In the 61 season, he had 3,033 points. And then in 1964, he was actually 52 points away from a 4th straight 3,000 point season. God damn. Holy crap. Yeah, Wilt scored 4,000 points in a season. That's crazy. Kobe Bryant came close in the 06 season when he averaged 35. His point total was 2,832. That was Kobe's point total. Are you talking about the last shot? Wayman Tisdale? Oh, yes. Tisdale was good. I remember he played with Charles Barkley, but he wasn't the Wayman Tisdale that he was when he was first in college. He was a beast in college. Wayman Tisdale could have been one of the greats. I know he got his leg amputated because of some freak accident. What you mean my poor MJ's getting slandered? Listen, man, I love MJ. He's the GOAT in my opinion, but we don't play favorites. Hey, shout out to Alice the 49, man. Yeah, to be honest with you, Alistair, I've been talking about this since the doc first came out. Since the doc first came out, I've been talking about this, and I wanted to do last 9 and 10. All right, let's get to the. So we got a close game. Oh, look at that, LeBron. Oh, would you look at that, folks? On the network, Mr. LeBron James reacts to The Last Dance on his boy Mavs Carter's podcast. Oh, I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this. Anyway, let's get back to the possession. Anyway, close game. The Jazz go up by 3. Duality funny. Oh boy. Oh wow, really? Didn't know that. All right, let's get it. So Michael Jordan scores to the basket after Stockton hits that 3. Excuse me. Cuts it to a 1-point game. And then here it comes. The moment we've been waiting for. Karl Malone gets the ball. He gets doubled. Michael cheats off his man. Karl Malone never saw him coming. They knock it away from him. And then here it comes. I'm about to replay this right now. 17 seconds from Game 7 or championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. And there it is. There's Russell looking up. By the way, that was not a foul on MJ. Russell's momentum was already taking him away because he anticipated Jordan going right. So Jordan knew that, and that's why he went back left. But Russell's momentum was already taking him aback, which is probably why they didn't call a foul. And there it is. And once he did that, it was murder she wrote for the Utah Jazz. Pookie says, do you think if Len Bias and Reggie Lewis wouldn't have died, they would have given him a run? Wait, who is G Money calling a fanboy? Then everybody's a fanboy then if we're doing that. Wait. Layla got the tongue out. She got the heart out. Bias would have been something in the league, and Reggie Lewis. I think Larry Bird possibly would have played longer. Possible. But the problem is Larry Bird was already injured, unfortunately. Okay, I got another picture of that shot. I got a better one. Check this out. Where your boy at? Nope. MJ, where you at? There it is, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that shot. I told you I got you, Layla. See? There goes the picture-perfect shot right there. The Bulls stop Stockton, and they win the NBA championship. Tyree says, hey, Lewis, Brandon Roy or Derrick Rose? I mean, damn, that's tough, man, because Brandon Roy was a baller before the injuries. And what I loved about Brandon Roy was his ability to hit big shots. Derrick Rose, that's tough. Brandon Roy against Derrick Rose. If I was to take both of them at their peak, I would go with Derrick Rose. Just because his ability, his speed, and he was getting better. If Derrick Rose had this kind of game back, well, if Derrick Rose did not get injured and he adds this kind of game right now, it's crazy. Yeah, he was the first to do so. Wilt was the first ever player to do it, but he was a big man. Jordan was the first perimeter player to score 3,000 points. Up to that point, no player had done it. And Kobe came close because he had 2,832. He scores 168 more points. Kobe Bryant definitely gets the 3,000. So he definitely gets it. All right, man. And the Chicago Bulls win the NBA championship. They stopped the last possession. Well, MJ really damaged his stats when he went over there. That's what happened. He really damaged his stats when he went over there because his stats actually looked a lot better right before he went over there. So he accumulated a couple of more points, but he was averaging over 31 and he shot damn near 52%. But unfortunately, going to the Wizards really screwed him up. But the reason he went there was to get ownership of the team. I think just because Les Bias took drugs just shows you where his heart was at, and Mike was focused on a higher plateau. True. True. Oh man, y'all people in the chat are killing me. Again, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for the Louis Sports Network. We're talking MJ. To be honest with you, I was actually really impressed with MJ during the Wizard years. Brandon, nah, I can't go wrong with either player, to be honest with you. It's hard. It's hard. That's how great both guys were to me. Brandon Roy was to me, had he never gotten hurt, that's a perennial all-star, and you're looking at a future Hall of Famer had he not gotten hurt. And to me, Derrick Rose was treading that same water. Unfortunately, he got hurt. And, Andre said it throughout the documentary, he was not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so Jordan hits the shot. They get their 6th NBA championship, the beautiful shot. And then after that, once he gets his shot, now let's take a look at it from another angle. There you are. They celebrate. And there they are, the 1998 champions. So when you look back, it's crazy with the amount of distractions that this team had. This team was so distracted. I don't know how this team won championships. So let me just say this in closing of the documentary, because I know Jerry Reinsdorf talked about bringing the team back, and he said all these kind of difficult stuff. Let me ask you a question. Considering Scottie Pippen's contract situation, let's say Phil does come back. Let's say Michael Jordan wants to come back. Do you think Scottie Pippen comes back despite the fact that he's not getting paid if they had an opportunity to win a 7th NBA title and a chance to four-peat? Let me know in the comment section. To me, Phil is kind of overrated because, listen, I understand he was able to deal with Dennis, and I give him a lot of credit for that, just with the fact that Dennis has a low attention span and he's kind of like pretty much everywhere and he does what he wants, especially if he gets very bored. But the thing is, look at his career. Phil coached Jordan, Pippen, eventually Rodman. Then he coached Kobe, Shaq, and then Kobe and Gasol in the second run. And notice, those are the only 2 teams Phil has ever coached. In my opinion, when I look at, and shout out to Jay Chillin for subscribing to the channel, appreciate it. But what's crazy to me is, ladies and gentlemen, I personally believe, in my personal opinion, that when it comes to the GOAT coaches, I'm going to go with Pat Riley, because he was able to not only win championships with Showtime, and they're like, well, he's not going to win anything because all he did was just pretty much play with Coach Magic, and they always had those deep teams. Well, the man got hired by the Knicks, and in just 3 short years, they went to the NBA Finals with Patrick Ewing. And that team was not as talented as the Lakers, and they went to the NBA Finals. Well, pretty much everybody did, but like I said, Phil's got that psychological thing to deal with somebody. It's not just him. Everybody had to deal with him, pretty much. I got to do an underrated video on the Wizard years for MJ. I got to do one. I'm definitely going to do one on his Wizard years. People really forget that once Jordan got injured, he was pretty much done, and the Wizards' chances of making the playoffs were done. But with the roster that they had, he was actually doing pretty good. Yeah, but here's the problem with that. If they were to come back, I personally believe that the Bulls would have won the title because, again, we're talking about a shortened season. If the Bulls would have tried to go back to the NBA Finals, because they were exhausted. They were physically and mentally exhausted. Those guys get rest to come back. That would have done wonders for them health wise, body wise. They would have been able to come back even better. Avery Johnson was a good point guard. He was a good point guard. Yeah, they could definitely knock down three balls. It would have been a little bit different for the Bulls because the Spurs would spread the floor. But the thing is also the Bulls have some shooters of their own. You know, you got Steve Kerr, you got Jud Buechler. So the Bulls could kind of match up. And again, this would be a battle of the bigs against the wings. So Pippen and Jordan against Robinson and Duncan. So you got to ask yourself which style is going to win. And I mean, with Bill Wennington, I mean, if they give him enough jump shots, same thing with Luke Longley, they weren't really relied on to do those things. But I think, though, Luke Longley could get himself into foul trouble because he's really not known as somebody who, you know, can kind of look at that. That's the problem. If you look at Phil, to me, in my opinion, Phil, he kind of ran. He kind of ran because he eyed the Lakers in that 98 season. So I think low-key, he kind of ran, in my personal opinion, when he said he wasn't coming back and that he needed a break. To me, that was because he was eyeing Shaq and Kobe. That's what that tells me. I think he was eyeing Shaq and Kobe from that 98 season, which kind of told him they could possibly be the next. So when I think about that, yeah. So Tyrese says, look, yeah, that was no push-off. Look how Phil went running when Shaq was traded, and that Laker team was different. A great coach would have stayed to make it work. Notice that when they rebuild, he kind of bounced. That's why I kind of get on Phil Jackson a little bit. I need to make a future video on Phil Jackson. I feel like he's slightly overrated as a coach. That's what people don't want to understand. Jordan was giving these young cats at the business. If you look at his numbers to the star players that were the averages that year, he was doing pretty well. And in closing, what's crazy to me was the last effects of the Last Dance when Jordan wrote a poem. I didn't think Jordan was even capable of writing a sonnet. He did it. And I got to tell you, Skip is absolutely right. And I need to make a video on this. I told you, I've said for a long time, Phil Jackson is a master of narratives, man. The thing is, Phil Jackson won it so easy, and he kind of used his reputation as a leeway to try to get perks. That's why low-key, that's why when people always say that he had Phil Jackson and all that kind of stuff, yeah, he was crucial, but I'm just kind of looking at myself like, Yeah. True. Good point. But you acting like that the Bulls don't got the coaching themselves, man. Like the Bulls were beast on defense. San Antonio was a beast on defense, but I just look at the wings. I look at transition. The Spurs would have to stop the Bulls in transition because the Bulls would have looked to run on San Antonio. San Antonio would have to try to pound it and use it to their bigs. Not saying that San Antonio wasn't deep. Well, honestly, that's not actually how it worked, Duality. To be honest with you, no. Here's the thing with Doug Collins. Doug Collins was about him, so that's why he was out. Because the thing is, Jerry Krause wanted Phil to be the coach of the team, And Phil said it in the documentary. They had a close relationship in the beginning. So they said that. Doug Collins was the odd man out because Doug Collins, he didn't listen to Tex Winter. He didn't listen to him. He was trying to teach the triangle. Doug Collins wanted the ball in Michael Jordan's hands way too much. So when I hear that, that's why that wasn't going to work out. Mm. Yeah, that's crazy. I might have to look more into Len Bias, but he said, which is what I said. Oh, no, I know. Oh, no, you're trying to say he did Doug Collins dirty. It was actually Krause did Collins dirty, and then Phil did Krause dirty. That's why Doug Collins was like, I had a feeling. Doug knew what he did. That's why he was going to be gone. He was not the right fit for the team. He's underrated, and he really did improve the Bulls, but he was too emotional to be able to. The Bulls would have been too tense in situations, and they wouldn't have to do what to do. Shout out to Corey in the building, yo. Again, guys, smash the like and hit that subscribe. But to me, if I look at the 99, I think they definitely would have done it. I think the Bulls would have won the championship. I just think that the advantage is that they would have actually they would have been able to rest. Had they gone in the season all tired, like they were exhausted in 98, then I would pick the Spurs. But I honestly think, but I will say it would be a close series because the Spurs have got the execution to do it. And like I said, they do have the bigs to be able to slow the game down and try to make the Bulls force them to play through post play. They do have some shooters. That's true. But I'm wondering how they were going to, because I don't think that Jordan and Pippen are going to double team in the post. And like I said, the Bulls have got some bigs. Their best defender is obviously Rodman. Tony Kukoc would have a hard time because he's not really known as a defender, more of an offensive player. I said, hey, listen, man. I mean, I know Jordan had tendonitis in his knee when he played for the Wizards. I know he had a torn tendon in his finger the last season he played for the Bulls. That was the same tendon that he had when he tried to, what was it, light up a cigar. How about before the 2002 season started, before the '02 season started, in the preseason, or I think it was over the summer, Ron Artest messed up one of MJ's ribs, and they don't even talk about that. Hmm. I think that's very possible. I could agree with that. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that one. That's crazy. Yo, shout out to the chat, man. Y'all been lit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So in actuality, it's possible though. I'll give MJ credit in that regard, and Tim Duncan. I think that can happen. I could definitely see it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that it can happen. Yeah, Kobe did play injured his entire career. That's true. Oh, he actually broke his ribs. That's right. No, Jerry Krause deserves his props. Jerry Krause deserves his props for what he did. He deserves it. If Jerry Krause isn't the way he is, the Bulls are an NBA champions. He deserves his props. So he definitely deserves his credit. And it's true. I hate the fact that he's not allowed to defend himself. Like I said, I mean, people call him how much he got trolled by Jordan and Pippen. So I understand that. He could have. The key thing with him is he would have had to learn how to really, if he would have been able to get Jordan to play team ball instead of Jordan ball, and then also he would have to show the temerity to be able to keep himself calm in key situations because he was too emotional. That was Doug's problem. Yeah, he did. Krause definitely constructed teams. And, I want to leave that lasting image because arguably the best dynamic duo in NBA history, Jordan and Pippen right there. Two definitely all-time greats. And so how we close? Who do you think would win, MJ's Bulls or KD's Warriors? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Oh, really? His widow's coming out with a book? Oh. By the way, just so you guys know, LeBron's coming out with a documentary with Adam Sandler. And also, obviously, Kobe Bryant is coming out with the last season documentary. You know what the thing that kills me is I honestly wish that they came out with a documentary of the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. I really wish that they came out with a documentary of Kobe and Shaq Lakers, or really went behind closed doors to really know what happened with the media, because Kobe and Shaq could tell you one thing, but I think going inside will actually tell you another thing. There's probably some things I probably would have never known about what really happened in the locker room. And we got to see it with Jordan. We got to see it with Pippen and all these guys listening to these stories. So my takeaways from the Bulls' last dance is in parts 9 and 10, Reggie Miller, Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen playing with the bad back, Jordan actually writing a poem and finally finishing the last dance, burning and then Michael's lack of closure, trying to compete for a 7th title. I think Michael would have wanted to get knocked out, in terms of what I'm saying is get knocked off the mountain. And I think he would have been at peace with that. But some people say that I'll take Kobe and Shaq and then KD and Westbrook. It's going to depend on the rules. Yeah, he did. He was trying to go after Tim. Louis, you want some drama for real? Yes, I do. Definitely going to do that. All right, so in closing, congratulations to the Bulls on a successful documentary. Shout out to MJ. Shout out to the production team on this documentary. We got to see different sides of the Bulls that we never seen before. And like I said, this was probably about as honest. I mean, we're still going to have questions about the documentary, obviously, of things that we didn't see. For those who are probably asking about Jordan's wife, Juanita, she is pretty happy with the way her life is going. She's always been low key. So I kind of doubt that she probably would have wanted to probably talk about probably what happened. And it is what it is. That's the thing. I take the IQ of the Bulls over Golden State. It's possible. It's possible. Who knows? It's possible. It really might be the case. I mean, it's pretty crazy though. Oh yeah, yeah. The Shaq and Kobe drama would be good because people could see the real truth. Yeah, his is ex. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, seeing that documentary was crazy, man. And I gotta thank them for giving us the content. And I appreciate you guys for coming in and listening to my content. And everybody's bringing up great points. So I'm gonna end it with this, ladies and gentlemen. On tomorrow's menu, also got to check out what LeBron is saying about the documentary, because I know your boy's gonna be selective on his comments because he's gonna try to say he ain't watched nothing. LeBron says he sees everything, so I'm not buying a damn thing that LeBron says. That's the thing with LeBron. He contradicts himself too much. He makes it hard for me to believe anything he says nowadays. Well, he married two Latinas. Um, his current wife is Latina too, Cuban. Let me see. What was I gonna say? Let me go to all right, tomorrow's menu on the Lewis Sports Network. We have, and trust me, yo, Tyree funny, man. Yeah, he was bitter. That's true on that. All right, tomorrow's menu, May 19th. We got the 1994 NBA Finals, why it was underrated. Make sure y'all pull up for that one. We got Bob Myers and Kevin Durant drama. Stay tuned for that one. And well, I said I was gonna do the yeah, Juanita is Latina. Yes, I believe she's Dominican. She's of Dominican descent. Let me just check for sure. I know she's Latina. I believe she was born in Chicago. It says her nationality is American, but that's what it's saying here. Wait, let me just wait. Did I just see a story? Oh, it says right here that Jordan's daughter Jasmine said that her mother Juanita wasn't concerned about being absent from the last dance. So I guess it really wasn't her concern to be in it. All right. Oh, and she basically said that she lived it, so there was no point in terms of being in there. Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. That's a really interesting way to look at it. Okay, give Juanita her respect for that one. She might have been, but who knows? Especially with the fact that she has a Spanish. Uh, it says she's American. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it is time to close. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the mods. You guys keep it lit up in here as always. I'm gonna end up with Jordan and Pippen sitting together with that champagne for that sixth title. And ladies and gentlemen, man, thank y'all for coming through. You guys again, appreciate you guys as always. Again, there is my Cash App on the ticker. I put the link in the chat for the PayPal. So again, yes, he does. Oh my God, Layla, cut it out. He too old for you. He too old. You in duality. You. Wow, she literally trying to cheat on him in the chat. Layla's trying to cheat on duality in the chat. Unbelievable, man. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful night. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, get some sleep. I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have been a wonderful audience as always on the Lewis Sports Network. And from your boy as always, man, bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank y'all for watching. It was a wonderful stream. You guys made it lit. Let's keep it going, man. On the road to 1K and beyond. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Deuces.